Hi, this is Theo from PuckerBlocks.com. Today I want to color the sketch that I drew the other day. So let's start with the one on the left first, that is Sultan Mosque. Before we start, let's take a look at the reference photo that I have. I want to point out the colors: the yellow dome, the blue sky with some clouds, the orange roof, magenta windows, yellow signs, the ground that is gray tone and some shadow coming from the side, the plants around here, and some leaves around at the top right. So I'm going to basically follow the same color scheme. This is the Strathmore 500 series mixed media paper that features 190 GSM 100% cotton paper. I'm not sure if you watched my time-lapse video earlier, but this paper works very well with pen and ink. I'm going to use watercolor. The watercolors I'm going to use is Winsor & Newton. These are two Da Vinci Maestro pocket brush. So let me just wet some colors first. I'm going to wet ultramarine. Then I'm going to add burnt sienna for the sky, just to sort of make the ultramarine a bit more grayish. This is my favorite, one of my favorite colors for the sky. So I'm just going to use a lot of ultramarine. I'm not following exactly the reference photo, as you can, if you can remember the reference photo. It was very cloudy that day, so I'm not going to follow completely. I just want the sky to be blue because it will contrast very nicely with the yellow dome later on. And as I get to the bottom, I just want to fade out the color, so I use clean water and just basically fade out the colors to the bottom. For the ground, same thing, burnt sienna and ultramarine, but I'll use more burnt sienna. So this is basically ground. You can see the gray tone coming out. Maybe I'll add a bit of alizarin crimson to get somewhat purple, to make the wash a bit interesting, instead of just using pure gray. The color that I have here is New Gamboge, if I am not wrong. It should be a Daniel Smith color. Maybe I'll add a touch of red. So I'm just going to go in and basically just put the whole dome, just make it orange and yellow, very bright. I have to be careful not to basically merge the yellow with the blue at the side here. That's not dry. I think my hand touched the bottom here, so that's an accident. It's here. Maybe more red and a bit of ultramarine to make it a bit darker. Also the windows here, the top, and the ground is sort of like some sort of purple color as well. So I'm just going to make the ground purple side. So there are some plants here. And here as well. This is a size 8 brush, by the way, and this piece of paper is about A4 size. So I'm working very loosely. I'm not caring much about the detail by using such a big brush. I want the strokes to be as economical as possible, use as few strokes as possible. The top right, the leaves at the top right is actually very dark, very dark. So I have to mix a very dark green. I'll do that with phthalo and alizarin crimson and also yellow. So just basically make the leaves as dark as possible. I'm using quite a bit of water. The paper seems to, you can take the water, but it's not sized, there's no treatment on the paper surface if I'm not wrong, so it can appear, it doesn't absorb water that well, but it can work. Maybe for the shadow of the building, I use burnt sienna, French ultramarine, and some alizarin crimson. Let me use a bit more water. Okay, I want to make it a bit darker so that I can get a contrast. So what I'm going to do now is basically let's see what happens. Okay, good. So I just dabble it on the left side of this building. This is the underside of the dome, which I want to keep in shadow as well. This is the shadow part. The shadow is actually coming in at an angle. So this part here is at an angle. Some parts of the road is darker, like this part, so I'm just going to go in with another wash. Shadow under the building is very dark as well. Let me just put it as dark as possible. Also the inside, and also the shadow cast by the roof at the top. And also at this side here. There's the van. Let me switch to a smaller brush. So that I can color, I think there's a bus here at the back. Some buildings in the background. Side of the van. Some parts of the area is a bit wet, so I'm just going to dry my brush and then pick up the water from the wet area. There are actually some lines here that are in color, so I will go ahead and use permanent alizarin crimson and maybe burnt sienna for those lines. Go from left to right and then, oops, down here as well. And a sort of a window there. I need to mix an even darker green color, so let me try again with the Winsor yellow, phthalo blue, and alizarin crimson. I just need the contrast here because the green plants here are pretty dark. So the bag that he's carrying. There's a traffic light here. The windows for the cars are actually quite dark, so I have to go in and make the windows darker. This here is in another color, so it's darker. And also the underside of the cars are usually very, very dark. Now I'm going to do some touch up to the dome. From this reference photo, you can see that the dome is rounded, so there's some gradation in terms of the shadow coming here. So I'm just going to do that for the sides of the dome, and also this side here is darker and I forgot to color this one. New gamboge, and I'll go with French ultramarine. Maybe a bit of permanent alizarin crimson. Go from here. Here as well for the smaller dome as well. Then I'll wash my brush and fit it to the top. Next up, for this side here, I'm going to make it darker, so that is ultramarine and burnt sienna. Okay, especially this part here. There's too much water there, so I'm just going to use a dry brush to pick up the water, the excess water. I will touch up the windows here as well, just to give it the horizontal vents. And also the bottom here, I will put some dots. So this is the completed sketch. When it's dry, I will scan it and post a link to the high-res version in the video description so that you can check it out. That's all for today's drawing and sketching video. If you have any questions, feel free to ask me in the comment section. If you have not subscribed to my channel, subscribe for more sketching tips and techniques, art product reviews, and sketchbook features. Thanks for watching and have a nice day. See you in the next video.